Howdy, folks. It's hot. Well, it's October. It's spooky season. It's fall or autumn if you live across the pond, or spring if you live in the southern hemisphere. Spooky spring. And while it may seem like the perfect time to watch a horror movie or play a scary game, there's nothing wrong with just wanting to play more No Man's Sky. Especially since the universe of No Man's Sky does provide a few activities that actually fit the season. I'm Kanaju, and these are 5 spooky No Man's Sky activities you can play right now. If you're a longtime player, you've probably completed most of these already, so I've thrown in something extra at number 4 that I'm sure you haven't done yet. Before I begin though, quick history lesson regarding No Man's Sky and Halloween content. Believe it or not, Hello Games does have a history of releasing content around Halloween. They released the Abyss update in October 2018, the Halloween update 3.05 in 2020, and the Emergence Expedition in 2021. Sure, we didn't get anything last year, but with Expedition 11 ending on October 16th, 2023, there's a chance we'll see another content update before Halloween. So if you're watching this on Halloween, and it seems like I forgot to mention the big, latest, coolest seasonal content, that's because it hasn't been released yet. But then again, if nothing releases by then I guess it's a good thing you clicked this video, isn't it? Alright, our first activity should appeal to fans of Frankenstein's monster. The Starbirth mission gives you the opportunity to grow your own living ship. Quote unquote, grow. Without spoiling too much of it, you'll have to grow multiple body parts and complete some unsavory activities to bring your creation to life. Once you've acquired your living ship, you'll find it has unique abilities unavailable in other starships, such as the ability to siphon energy from your enemies. It'll also unlock a new space encounter and a new upgrade loop if you're interested. In order to begin the quest, you'll have to purchase a void egg from the Quicksilver Synthesis Companion for 3,200 Quicksilver. It's pricey, but the questline is one of the most unique in the game. Dr. Frankenstein would be proud. Our second activity is really a group of activities, but I think it fits. You know that trope of the haunted house at the end of the street? Or the abandoned hospital? Or abandoned whatever? Well, No Man's Sky has its fair share of abandoned structures too. And I'm not just talking about the run-of-the-mill abandoned buildings either. I'm talking abandoned manufacturing facilities, abandoned shops, and even abandoned space stations. That's right, activity number 2 is exploring an abandoned system. If you've never been to an abandoned system before, there's a trick to identifying them on the galactic map. Make sure you have either a conflict or economy scanner installed on your ship first. You're going to look for a system that has a race, like an alien race, but no economy or conflict level, such as this one. Warp there and you'll be greeted by an abandoned station. I recommend turning your volume up when you visit, as the ambient soundscape in these stations is bone-chilling. Every other building in the system will also be abandoned. Strange growths and whispering eggs become familiar sights in such places. If you come across the classic abandoned buildings, available in every system, they also feature some dark lore entries which I recommend reading if you're into spooky sci-fi stories. And remember, just because a system's abandoned, doesn't mean you're alone. Activity number 3, Dreams of the Deep. In 2018, Hello Games gave us our first Halloween seasonal update, The Abyss, version 1.7, released in October and introduced new deep-sea horrors to the game's previously empty oceans. While No Man's Sky's oceans may not be quite deep enough to trigger your thalassophobia, its depths are anything but welcoming. Besides the occasional aquatic predator, the seafloor is home to a class of enemy known as the Abyssal Horror. Each type of Abyssal Horror comes with its own surprises, which I'll leave for you to discover. The Abyss update also added new underwater points of interest. Sunken buildings feature the same dark lore entries, as the abandoned buildings found on land. Sunken ruins feature loot and lore unique to the depths. Most folks haven't completed the Sunken Ruin lore yet, so October might be a fun time to check it off your list. By far the most compelling underwater content, though, is the questline, Dreams of the Deep. After you complete the 16/16 main story mission, Dreams of the Deep should automatically trigger soon after. It'll introduce a lot of underwater gameplay mechanics, but lands on this list for its theme. The story follows the shipwrecked crew of a freighter that went down in the ocean. You'll follow their trail and hope to discover their fate. Plus, you earn this gnarly diver's helmet. The inherent danger and poor visibility of the oceans makes exploring them the perfect spooky activity for players bored with the surface world. Now, before I move on to our last two activities, I want to make some honorable mentions. While we can no longer play 2021's Halloween expedition, Emergence, we can still experience some of its content on infested worlds around the universe. If you see a planet labeled Worm-Ridden or The Nest, why not pay it a visit? The surfaces of these planets have been infested with invasive growths, whispering eggs, and titan worm burrows. They offer some unique gameplay and rewards that you just can't find on regular planets. Plus, they feature overgrown, abandoned buildings, even in regular systems. Ooh, spooky. My other honorable mentions are certain exotic planets, boggy planets, and even dissonant worlds. While not exactly horror-themed, they can be spookier than the average No Man's Sky planet. And lastly, if you're into baking, there are actually lots of horrific recipes you can try. Cake of the Lost, Cake of Sin, Cake of Burning Dread, Unbound Monstrosity, just to name a few. Gathering such horrific ingredients will surely be a spooky time for those with nothing else left to do in the game. But alright, back to the more in-your-face themed activities. My fourth seasonal activity recommendation is to visit a corn maze. Now in real life, visiting a corn maze every year is one of my favorite fall activities. So I decided to build one to share with y'all, right here in No Man's Sky. You can visit with the portal address seen on screen. It's located on planet Treeit in the whole Oween system. I recommend playing it in first person and at night for maximum effect. You can use a flashlight, but no jetpacking. Okay, no cheating. Your goal is to make it to the staircase that leads out of the maze, and look out for spooky Easter eggs along the way. There's a great fall harvest photo op at the end as a reward. I also built the photo op to remind y'all that building a Halloween themed base can be great fun too. There are plenty of base parts that can be creatively repurposed for spooks and scares. Some of those base parts can actually be earned through our final activity, which I will tell you about after a quick word from our sponsor. Just kidding, of course. I don't have sponsors, so if you'd like to support more content like this, leaving a like or subscribing, or both, really helps. Besides, you made it this far, right? And now, for the spookiest activity No Man's Sky has to offer. Of course, number 5 is exploring Derelict Freighters. They're dark, they're scary, they're practically haunted. Derelict Freighters are unlike any other activity in No Man's Sky. Their cramped corridors are filled with pieces of spacesuits, logs from missing crew members, and dangers of every kind. The 2020 Halloween update actually added a bunch of themed rewards that you can only purchase with the tainted metal collected aboard these derelicts. It also added one of the creepiest cosmetics in the game, the horrific flesh helmet. Their words, not mine. So if you're looking for Halloween build parts, stickers, or cosmetics to unlock through similarly seasonal activities, look no further than Derelict Freighters. Just remember that each star system only generates one Derelict Freighter layout, so you'll need to warp to a new system each time you want to explore a different derelict. Otherwise you'll just end up repeating the same one. But there you have it, my quick list of spooky activities you can enjoy right now in No Man's Sky. Maybe we'll get a Halloween content drop later this month, maybe we won't. Either way, thanks for checking this video out. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leaving a little like helps it reach more people. And feel free to leave a comment with your favorite spooky No Man's Sky activity. and tell me, what's the scariest thing you've encountered in the game? Believe it or not, No Man's Sky's universe is actually a very dark one, full of cults, extinctions, curses, death. Space is a dark place. If you're interested in learning more, I've put together a playlist exploring the darker aspects of No Man's Sky that you can check out after this video. If you're new to the game, I've recently compiled some of my best tips in this video right here. And if you'd like to support my channel's growth, you can subscribe here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.